Sure is hot out here today. It's been a hot week. Just finishing up the workshop week, and this is about the time generally when I put together a little video and some nice little folk music to show what everybody did throughout the workshop. And I thought I would do something a little bit different this time. You know, for me personally, Sunday after the workshop is a big reset day for me. I get myself all squared away and try to get myself back. So it's a long week, and up early, don't get to bed till late, helping Becky cook the meals and whatnot. And so then Monday's the day where I reset the shop, get the shop back ready to normal operations, and maybe some things that I have to work on this week. And it dawned on me that I just want to speak a little bit more about the personal side about why I do the workshops. And the examples were the 6 folks that we had in there this week. Again, this day I get a little somber because it's kind of back to usual. I get used to working with those folks and meeting all the new folks. In this class we had a gentleman who's wants to be a homesteader, and as part of that he wanted to learn how to use the timber from his own land to build some structures, and maybe his house, who knows, but he knows he's going to need some structures, and so he wanted to take some timber framing. And there's another gentleman who bought some plans from Timber Frame HQ. Amazing set of plans, gosh, beautifully done. I got a chance to look at them. We got to discuss a couple things. However, he wants to use his timber from his land, and the Timber Frame HQ plans that he got are basically mill rule, where all the timbers are dimensioned to an exact size. And so he was wanting to know a way to be able to apply square rule and still use that set of plans. And so a lot of the times our conversations were focused on that. And it certainly is possible. Just have to do a little bit of math and then apply the rules, and then you're good to go. Had a gentleman over from Australia who's kind of making his trip around the United States, seeing different things and learning different crafts. And he had done a bit of timber framing in Australia in his old house, or the house he used to have, and then just wanted to know a little bit more about it. So he took a class up in New England that was more of a just a get together. Hey, come help us with our project. We'll teach you a little bit about timber framing. But he wanted a little bit more structure, more learning plans, and again, also the idea of being able to use your rough sawn timbers. There were a couple other folks in there that just had some time, wanted to learn a new skill. There was a teacher who came who, as I understand it, is kind of a mentor to other teachers, I guess. I know he teaches classes, but he also needs to be able to expand his knowledge base as well to be able to teach and to be able to show his kids some different things. And so he got a kick out of the class. And then of course there's Chuck. Oh my goodness, Chuck was the whole reason for this workshop, because we're doing his 16 by 20 cabin to use for a farm store. And so I've gotten to know Chuck a little bit. We met quite some time ago and worked together in a workshop much like this with Jim Rogers. And then when he found out about the school, and you can go to his site, Sheraton Park Farms, and hear about more of his story. But got to talk, and we were able to work out a way to be able to use his project for one of the workshops. And the whole idea with the school is the school is so much better when we have a project to work on. We don't want to just cut meaningless joinery and timbers. And so in this instance we were able to work out a cost for the entire frame, and then we had hosted the workshop. And the way that all that works out is that the school benefits from the tuition from folks that come to take the workshop. Chuck is a direct recipient of all the work that they did. So Chuck gets to get help with his frame. I get students to be able to teach and continue the craft of timber framing, and so it really is a win-win situation. So if you have a project, a small project that you want to, and even somewhat bigger, we did a 26 by 30 garage, but just understand that we're not going to complete it during the workshop. But anyway, I got off a little bit of a tangent there, and I just, the relationships that I developed just this past week, but over the 9 or so classes, I would wager, I guess we've taught 50 or 60 students. I need to go in there and count. But we've taught students from as far away as Australia, New Zealand, I say the other direction across the map, but a little bit closer, Alaska, And I've got a map that I'll show that kind of shows the location of all the students where we've taught, and all of those relationships that I've developed. Of course I want to do my little part in sharing the craft of timber framing and keeping it alive, keeping the old ways that they used to do it, but also a way that you could apply. You can go home and be able to apply it to your own projects at home with the tools that you have. I mean, that's only half of it. The other half is I get to meet new people every 2 months and discuss their projects, maybe help them with their projects. I just can't describe it. And we've got some other things in mind coming up. We're thinking about doing like a Saturday sawmill workshop. We'll serve lunch and show you everything that I know about that sawmill. So maybe keep an eye out for that. But anyway, I just wanted to share that it's from a more personal note, kind of like in the days after the workshop, where I'm kind of getting back to normal routine and getting back to business after a workshop. But anyway, if I hope you'll check out CoreyVWoodworks.com. I hope you'll check that out and see if there's an event that you might like to come to. We host every other month, so 6 workshops a year. The 2026, gosh, I guess we're getting to the point now where there's only September and November left this year, so I've got to go hurry up and get the 2026 schedule out there. But see if there's an event that you might want to participate in, and I'd love to meet you and discuss your plans and help you in any way I can. But for right now, as I was backing up into the shade here to do this video, I got my forklift stuck. So this thing is a wonderful little machine, but I tell you what, if you give it gas in the wrong way, or if it's in a little bit of a bad mood, then you can bury it in a heartbeat. And I'm not even buried. I think I'm I don't know, maybe a half inch of gravel. So anyway, just wanted to chat a little bit, just to give you a little bit more of my personal side of the days after the workshop. And of course, I hope to include in this video some clips of what we did during the workshop and using the tools and whatnot. So thanks for watching. Boy, I tell you, sometimes it's the littlest things. Something happens, next thing you know, 10 minutes later. But that's all it took. That's all it was. Turn those wheels a little bit too much right there. Bam, she got stuck. But I tell you, I couldn't live without it. Not here around the shop, all the material handling we do. About does it for our reset. These here are all the timbers that we cut for Chuck's cabin. Braces are still inside. Those braces are for another project. But those are posts and ties, some floor joists in there. I don't know that we cut any rafters. Here's the floor system and floor joists that need to be cut. So if you've noticed, you've been watching some of these videos, you've seen, boy, we're really struggling with the mold on this. It really does go to the pith in some of this stuff. So we have tried vinegar, we have tried Clorox, both in very strong solutions. But boy, we're struggling. So the next thing, there'll be a video on this. So this one was clean. You can see that white mold already growing. It's terrible, but got another solution. We're gonna try borax. Mixture of borax is a 1/4 cup borax to a gallon of warm water. Mix it up. We're gonna spray it down. It's supposed to kill the mold, as well as if we leave it wet, then it'll kind of create an environment where mold doesn't want to be. So we're gonna do all these timbers. I'm gonna do all these timbers before they leave the shop. Then once we do the raising there, we'll go over it again, give it a good coat of borax. And so anyway, that's about it for now. I did want to chat about that forklift. Boy, I tell you, if you want to be in this business, you're gonna have to figure out how to handle materials, and whether that's the sawmill or timber framing. You know, if I had to move all that stuff by hand, we're talking about 2 days probably. But me moving the cherry, setting that aside, and getting the load here, shaking out. I did all that to get some stuff ready for some folks who want to come in to work over the weekend. Oh, it's hot out here. Want to work over the weekend on their projects. And so Chuck's going to be back maybe Wednesday. So I've left some stuff out for him to do. And then, don't know if you remember back, I guess it's November of last year, we did a dog trot. Might have been August. But anyway, that gentleman is for Joe. That was DeCredico. So that's for the dog trot. He's going to come in and he's going to work on some of his rafters. So got all that shaken out. All left to do now is to sweep up a little bit. And I'm taking a week off. So appreciate you watching. Talk to you soon.